In a time where government surveillance and online spying are par for the course, it's no surprise that some Americans want to opt for a more private lifestyle, away from the tech-driven habits of modern consumerism. Going off the grid is a growing trend among people who want to limit their carbon footprint and don't want to be indebted to oil, water, and gas companies. And while it's a nearly impossible feat to estimate the exact number of Americans currently living this alternative lifestyle, according to a 2006 study by Home Power magazine, some 180,000 families live off-grid, a figure that has jumped 33% every year for a decade. And it doesn't seem like that would pose much of a threat. After all, thousands of homes supplying their own power puts less strain on the existing power grid. However, we can't have someone living outside the matrix, which is why there is a concerted effort to crack down on this type of sustainable living. Which is exactly what happened last year at the Garden of Eden community in Arlington, Texas, which was raided by SWAT officers. And while the community wasn't shut down permanently, the police raid signaled that state opposition to an off-the-grid lifestyle is very real. This has also been the case for Robin Sparonis, a Florida woman who redesigned her house to be fully self-sustaining, collecting rainwater and using solar power to run her appliances. But this didn't sit too well with city officials in Cape Coral, Florida, who took Robin to court, demanding that she be hooked up to the city's electrical and sewer services. What's worse is that the judge in this case, Harold Eskin, recently ruled that Sparonis is, in fact, required by law to hook up to the city's water system. In other words, she was found guilty of not choosing to be dependent on corporations for the basic services she was already providing for herself. Makes perfect sense. But Sparonis is only one of many of these types of cases occurring all over the country. And it's no surprise considering the growing trend of people wanting to escape modern society. In Oregon, 65-year-old Gary Harrington was actually sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined $1,500 for simply collecting rainwater. City officials cited a 1920s law that gave the county full ownership of runoff water, landing him with 9 misdemeanor charges because apparently you need a license to own rain. Here he is standing in front of one of the illegal ponds on his property. And just last year, after refusing to destroy his ponds, Harrington was found in violation of the law yet again for appropriating water without a permit. This landed him yet another jail sentence, only this time it was for 90 days. Listen, instead of cracking down on these people, they should be commended and serve as examples for the rest of us and how we can all live more sustainable and potentially more fruitful lives. Because cooperating with nature might be the last chance we have to save the planet for ourselves. And it's an activity that should never be punished by utility companies that do just the opposite.